What's up, Planet Unity? Neptune Azazel here with, fucking teal hair and, looking like he's out of some fucking anime. Regardless of that, this week is technically our 1 year anniversary since we started uploading content to the channel. And you saw our obligatory mind red and me just fucking around, doing a thank you video. But I had 3 Azazels dens, pre-recorded. But this one, I decided to scrap one of them because it's not as topical now. What I do want to talk about on this one is, now that we have hit our 1 year mark and are growing in subscribers and slowly reaching our initial goal of, the 100 so we can get the personalized URL, I really want to do 2 things. One, say thank you. I've said thank you a million times on this channel, but without you viewing our content and just helping us reach that goal, none of this would really be possible. So it really means everything. Every time we see that number go up, everybody's hype in chat, like, oh my god, we just got another one, we got another one, another one. It might not seem like a lot to the average person because a lot of the YouTubers that most people watch are in the hundreds of thousands, and by that point they're so dead to them, because they're rising constantly. But to a small content creator, it really, really means a lot. And regardless of, the fact that we have a team of 13 plus, we're still a small content creator as a whole. Because that number's small, is until you hit the thousands. Once you hit the thousands and you can, enable monetization and all that shit, that's when you've hit it. You've hit your stride. Roughly a year ago, we were like, when we first started this, we're like, shouldn't that number be going up? Shouldn't that number be going up? Shouldn't that number be going up? And then it was just like a bit of patience and perseverance, So this is basically a state of the channel. Now, as I get, more comfortable on this half a chair, the state of the channel is something that I'll be doing roughly yearly around the same time that 1 year anniversary comes around. Or that anniversary itself comes around. This video, going up a day after, technically, the 1 year anniversary because of, the fact that we filmed it and edited it and I didn't have decent internet. I think it actually hit on the 8th. It might have been the 7th. I'm not entirely sure. I know. I'd like to reminisce a bit through this one. Because, with the 1 year mark, it's really, taken me... It seems like it was so short, yet it seems like it took forever. Now, I know that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But to a student, and to, somebody that's going from job to job to job to job, it seems like a year, can drag along at the same time as, speeding by fast. It drags in the semesters you take on, and then it just fucking flies by when you're not, doing anything, really. And that doesn't make a lot of sense, but what I mean by that is it drags along, especially the weeks of midterm and finals. And, the cramming, the finishing your project, am I going to get done? Am I going to hit my fucking GPA? Am I going to do anything like that? And then once you have that burden lifted off, and you can just sit around and fuck around and, make videos and do stupid shit in video games and stuff like that, that helps speed the year up. And then when you get back into your college stride after you go back a semester, because if you go full time, you burn yourself out. I found that out when I went to ITT. Is going full time, I burnt myself completely out to the point where now even going a semester on, a semester off, it feels like a fucking burden. So running the day-to-day of the channel, like, okay, are we going to get this video up on time? Are we going to get this video up on time? Are we going to get this video up on time? Plus that, it just became a little bit of like this middle ground of like job and fun. And that's how I'd like to keep it. Like, I'd like to keep it somewhat, professionalism, in the Discord because we have it linked on the channel. But at the same time, I don't want to make everything, super formal and like smosh. Like, oh, we can't do that now because we're too big, we sold our souls. That's never going to be what we do here. But I digress on that. Moving on to like what this series will be. it's going to be like what we've done over the years. Initially, the first podcast was us making a Facebook Messenger call. With me taking my then, shitty, LG K7, which is a severe budget phone, if you don't know. That's like when you first sign up your phone contract and you get that free phone. With me taking that and just sitting it up here to the mic and the speaker area of an old laptop. Not this, fucking expensive gaming laptop that has a fucking built-in graphics card and all that shit. It was a shitty Asus laptop that, if you watch, I think it was episode 3, Red accidentally spilled some water on it and my mom flipped her fucking shit. So it was us, holding up the microphone to that. And that was how we did the podcast till I think episode 10. Until, I had OBS and then was able to, hook my webcam up and, the microphone and all this shit. And I had a 4-port USB hub and, was able to do all this, equipment, So yeah, it was really, touch and go for the first part. The first podcast was edited in Windows Movie Maker. Windows Movie Maker. This is the shit you make crappy AMVs during middle school with. So it was like, the fact that got over 100 views at the time was fucking fantastic. I didn't even see it, potentially getting 20. So the fact that it got 100, and then, over the time is like, okay, people were, getting worried, because views were dropping, and then Red, said something along the lines of that's normal. The first episode of any series will get more views than any other, episode. So I'm just like, you keep going. I can't stress that enough to anybody that wants to start a YouTube channel. You don't give up. No matter how low your views get, or if you get any. I mean, look at some of my Let's Plays, my personal Let's Plays. They have no fucking views. I don't give a shit if they don't have no views. What that does, and this is really important to a small channel, is it creates a backlog. It shows that you have grown as a channel, and it lets people that come for you in particular, or your team in particular, if you're a team channel like us, it lets them have something to go back on, especially like a Let's Play or something like a podcast. It's just, you just put it on in the background. Nobody gives a fuck what's on screen sometimes. Like Achievement Hunter, for example, makes the joke audio friendly podcast because it's really not. It's more visual. But, the traditional podcast is just like people sitting around a table, fucking around, shooting the shit, talking about whatever topics. And then there are, podcasts like ours and like the Off Topic podcast where there's visual gags and shit like that, or like edits, or at least there used to be. We changed that to focus, to allow, people to put it on in the background, and, us focus on more of the content, like the versus battles, the chaos battles as we call them. That playlist took so fucking long to launch that series. I never thought it was going to get off the ground. Really, I made I think 3 hype trailers, like, we're going to get this done, we're going to get this done, we're going to get this done. And then one video that was made was Kinshi versus Scaramouche, the one-off villain from Samurai Jack. And that video got fucked in transit through our Google Drive. So that video was scrapped. It's a blooper reel, essentially. One day it might, get thrown out there. It's like, as we grow, like, this is what our first versus battle was. It has no ending because when it was edited, the ending got cut off somehow, or didn't fucking go through properly. And it's just like, wow, like, this is what happens sometimes. And it's like, okay, well, back to the drawing board. We're gonna have to postpone it. And it was like 3 updates later that we finally, had like the Dirge versus Wolverine. The original concept of the versus battle was part of a podcast feature, but due to us having such good communication between the 4 original core members, myself, Chris V, Thurman, and Red, we could drone on for fucking hours. And that, literally, with a podcast, that's great. That's fantastic to drone on for hours. But there has to be an endpoint. You know, when you're approaching the 3.5 hour mark on certain episodes, it's like, yeah, we need to cut this here. So what gets cut? It was a versus battle consistently, over and over and over and over and over again. So we just like decided that would be its own series, and it's like we can never get two people in the same time. So a Discord server was made. The Discord server became the home for like all of our shit being dumped. Like if this is going to be a series, or this is going to be a series, or this is going, we have a specific thing to put scans in to be edited into the versus battles. We have, you know, a specific channel dedicated to like fucking talking about the topics for the podcasts. We have specific channels for, just so members in there can shoot the shit. We have specific channels to like for gags. Like one was Chris Swan, you know, joking like a theme song for Azazels Den down the road. I'm like, not gonna fucking happen. It's funny, but it's not gonna fucking happen. I'm not gonna sing every fucking episode, and I'm not gonna edit in an intro every fucking episode, especially when my appearance changes every few weeks. I was just like, oh, my hair was blue that time when I made that. Oh, well, now it could be fucking purple. You know, it's just like, that would be so pointless, you know, to do something like that. But it's still funny. It's like, okay, yeah, good joke, man. You know, maybe during, you know, like a live Azazels Den, on one of the podcasts, I'll fucking, you know, go along with it. But not for the long-running series, update series like this. Then, you know, we have, like, the Let's Plays. They went through, like, me being completely shit-faced and failing miserably at games. And then there was, like, the Game and Chills. And then there was, like, you know, the Game and Chills, you know, still might be a thing. It'll all be live streamed, but that's neither here nor there. You know, like, the fucking Shadow of Mordor one, when I was testing out the Elgato and the features of it, and, like, uploading 2-3 episodes a day, like, that costs us subs. I'm not going bullshit. Like, I saw the numbers go down, like, maybe, and then Noble's like, yeah, dude, you can fucking schedule it. So as the year progressed, it was more of us learning our place. And what really helped us learn our place was the manga discussions. I'm not going to lie, Red's idea there was fucking phenomenal. That series there has brought us more subscribers than anything else, because people love to hear other people's opinions. You know, no matter how controversial, like the Promised Neverland one that has the most comments of any video series on our channel. And then there's like the One Piece ones that, you know, a lot of YouTubers do One Piece discussions because it's so goddamn popular. And then like the Black Clover ones, that brought in subscribers, you know. And then I think out of every video, the one that caused the most controversy, and it's kind of a dick move on our part, and it was kind of funny to see how many people got kind of, you know, triggered, not gonna lie, was the live stream of the Screw Attack versus battle of Ichigo versus Naruto. That there is still our single most viewed video, and it still gets views regularly, really, it seems like, because I've seen that number go up in the last 2 months in analytics. So I'm shocked that that's still getting traction. I don't know if it's people going back and watching it for the funny moments, like when Red jokingly said, like, if Kubo said Ichigo was a Nazi tomorrow, it would be canon. You know, weird shit like that, you know, is the dumbest shit. The dumbest shit is the most, you know, rewatchable shit sometimes. Like, in one of Red's One Piece discussions, he said he was going to roll up a manga panel and shove it up his ass. And I'm like, what the fuck? It was funny, though. It was really funny. It was shocking, and, you know, people don't expect stuff like that. Now, do I agree with some things that have been said in the podcast? No. You know, do I agree with things that have been said in, you know, other videos? No. But at the same time, you know, having a difference of opinion is what helps the channel grow. Like, for example, today we brought on somebody to be a contributor to a future podcast, and might be a regular, because the last few podcasts have been literally down to the minutes. For example, the 23.5 podcast. Kate was here for roughly an hour and a half before we had enough people to actually stream an episode, because it would have just been myself and Kate shooting the shit. Well, I'm not opposed to that. I also am not for that, because a podcast needs to have, you know, 3-4 people talking at the same time, you know, so you can bounce off of people, you know. Not everybody has an opinion on everything. And that's been really a recurring thing. Like, I think it was like 12. That was like the last minute adjustments. Like, it was us calling in somebody that's no longer with the channel. That led to him being brought in for like the Dirge Wolverine versus battle, and then not long after being terminated because of stupid shit. And then like the 24, for example, we were wanting to have Eli in there, but last second he had shit he had to do. So I was like, okay, we need somebody else, and we got somebody else to hop in. It's just like, so now that we have another member that we can regularly rotate out, hopefully that's a good thing and it works out well. We've had a bit of, hit and miss history. But the person that we brought in, I've known in Planet Unity, the Facebook group, for quite a while. And he's also, good at debating and shit like that. So maybe having him in for the Chaos Battles will be a thing as well down the road, if it works out well. So as we've grown, we've grown from, the original 4 to this team of 13 plus. Team's going to be, taking on some changes, but it's very obvious that, the major issue for any kind of channel like ours, is time. And what I mean by time on that, in that aspect, is I'm here in Michigan. Thurman's in Vegas. Chris is in Indiana. Eli's in New York. Dragon's in New York. Ryan's down somewhere in Nevada. Red lives 40 minutes from me. That's not that big of an issue. And Swanee lives, about an hour and a half from me. But the issue is we're all in different time zones. The main cast, I don't even know where fucking JD Punk lives. But it's really weird. Like, having that issue, you don't think about it as much, but having people in different time zones, really fucks with being able to collaborate. So the end goal for, this and everything else is eventually having some sort of like centralized, like, okay, Noble and that crew down there can, call in at this time and do this, content, and then, us up here in, Michigan and Indiana can call in here and we can host our own series here. Which brings me to, the fact that the gaming series, I have 2 parts still done. Noble's attempting to pre-edit some of the, because he's just straight capturing through OBS, I'm assuming. Pre-edit, like, certain clips for parts 1 and 2, and then I can start stitching and then gathering up the people to, voice over the fucking shit, almost, as controversial as it is, Leafy style. Like, because when as the edgy, that was, something I watched just to fucking watch, roasts, essentially, because that's what it was. Do I agree with, shit he did? No, but, stuff like that is just, like, an interesting concept, to have, weird shit talked about, even though I doubt any of it is true. It's just, like, it's nonsense. Like, DBZ, to me. Like, it's something you can put on in the background, like, random, that's fucking, cool. Weird shit like that. But, you always have, like, a gameplay clip, and just talk over it. Because it's, strangely, a bit of, YouTube facts here. It's easier to render something like that than it is what you're seeing now in an editing software for some reason. I don't know if it's because the fact that, the game pre-renders it, or if it's just the fact that it's constantly moving. I've never understood how that works, but when I would edit, like, the compilations, their fucking rendering time is half of what a podcast was, or half of what one of these videos are. And that's just me slapping the fucking outro out on it, and potentially like putting in, like, for the one where I announced Kate's joining the team, like the fucking, a new challenger approaching, a 3-second GIF, and then slapping another video at the end of it, and that video not even being that long, and that video already had been rendered through Premiere. So it's just weird. And as we continue to grow as a channel, I want to reiterate that cast members may come or go, but that's not going to smosh the channel. The thing is, if you're going to promise a series, deliver on it, or let us know, like, hey, I can't do this that I initially promised, just make me, like, a contributor to this project or this project or this project, don't, butt in and say, yeah, I'm going to do, 9 million things and not do them. So, you might see, after we get our new channel art, because we're already, focusing on getting new channel art, because it's quite obvious that we've grown from the original, like, generic, what we use for the Planet Unity Facebook group, because we've focused in on, certain aspects of nerd culture, like gaming, manga, and comics, and versus battles and shit like that. So we want to make the channel look more professional. So at some point you'll see our banner change. Once that banner changes, our team's going to change. And once the team changes, that's going to be like, okay, this is the debate crew. This is going to be like the gaming crew. This is going to be like the manga review crew. You'll see some names, 2 or 3 times, a podcast, and then a section for contributors. Contributors being like your JD Punks, your the people that chime in occasionally for certain projects, like Dragon, and people like that, because they aren't always there, but they're always a part of the channel. Like JD Punk does his video and then also focuses on his video. Dragon does, his stuff, like contributes to the podcast, but he also has his own channel. And we want to, support them in that aspect. But at the same time, they're not always on, every project. So it's like contributors, and then their channels will be linked, essentially. Like JD Punk's channel will be linked under his name, and then Dragon's channel will be linked under his name, or his Twitch, whichever he prefers. I'm assuming he'll prefer his Twitch. But once the art changes, and, we have, like, our little sprites or whatever from Utena, that's going to be a thing. And what we'll probably do, and add her there as, like, our channel artist, and then, but that's still weeks, if not months away. So as we kind of, dial in here, other projects that are still in the works are like the Saturday morning reviews. I'm done with Mucha Lucha. Thurman is watching the last season right now, so once that's done, it'll probably happen during my break, is the filming, and then it'll be, edited by Red, essentially. I don't know what the status is on Noble stuff, because he had just, got his new job and is in training there, so congrats on the new job. It'd be great to have a status update. But yeah, it's just this. I know Thurman's working on something he's calling, like, Anime L's of the Week as well. I don't have any fucking idea what that's going to be. I don't want to know what that's going to be. If it's Thurman ranting about anime, it's going to be good. Because I've never seen anybody more triggered than him when something happens in an anime that he doesn't like. Like the Black Clover anime's first arc, he shit on it constantly. And he's a Black Clover dick rider. So it's going to be interesting to see, his take on that. Now, I know Red just uploaded his Hisoka analysis video, so go check that out. That will be, he's looking at monthly, but he said he might be able to do bi-monthly on those videos, depending on how quickly he can, siphon them out. So I'll be really interested to see what he does with that series. The first one was fucking phenomenal. Go check that out. Card here. But yeah, that's something to look forward to. So, one second. But anyway, that was me actually sending him a place to edit the card in. So it's going to be something that's really interesting, seeing how he takes the series. Because it's not just the fact that he loves Hunter x Hunter. He's going to talk about other projects and other, like IPs and shit. At the end of the video, he like asked for like comments of like what you would like to see him talk about. If it be like Overlord, and he's not done that, not watched it all or read it all. So that would be an interesting one to see him try to do. But stuff like that, like I recommend like a Nintendo one. I got a voice memo from him here that I'll watch after or listen to after I finish this video. I know so it's going to be interesting to see that, and it's going to be also interesting to see what Thurman does with his anime L's. It's going to be interesting to see if Ryan ever does his comic series. It's going to be interesting to see how the channel progresses from here. So this video will be something we do yearly. It might not be me next year. It might be somebody else, filling in, because I'd like to see other people's perspective on how the channel has progressed through the ages. And because somebody that creates the channel, like I created this channel almost a year before anything was uploaded for it, because when I created it, I thought, I could just upload videos, from campus Wi-Fi, put them on flash drive, and nothing like that. My college campus at the time was not having it, and their bandwidth was shit. That's something that Red actually deals with quite often, actually. Like his Hisoka video that he did, it's 7-ish minutes roughly. It took an hour for that to upload. When I first started, uploading content to the channel, I had a low tier pack for my Wi-Fi here. That low tier was like fucking 50 meg, I think. You don't think about bandwidth, even as an IT guy. This is a bit of a flawed logic for my part. I'm like, I don't have a whole lot on my network. Pans camera over, and you see all the fucking gaming consoles. I didn't have the Xbox One when I first moved here and started the channel. I didn't have the Switch, obviously, because it wasn't out yet. But what I did have was a PS4, a smart TV, a PS3. See where I'm going here? All those were constantly on. Like, my fucking PS4 lives in rest mode, which is perfectly fine for it, But what I did, my mom would use the PS3 as like a Blu-ray player because she watches, old movies and shit. And I used, the smart TV to like stream shit, and I would occasionally even more uploading that first podcast. Let's just get down to the point here. Uploading that first podcast in the fucking shitty resolution it was in, and it was shit. It was from the fucking original camera on the fucking laptop. That webcam had been through hell. It had probably seen a lot of things that it didn't need to see. Let's be realistic here. They're always watching. Really, maybe. Who knows? Who knows? But anyway, me being cringy aside, that fucking first podcast took almost 14 hours to upload. You'd think it'd time out. I don't know how it did time out. But it's odd to see how that upload has went from that short of time, considering that Red's seen the infinite sign in his fucking uploads. It's just like, from going from 14 hours to a video like this to upload to YouTube, like 30-ish minutes, because this one's hitting at a half hour, and then once I post-production the outro in, it'll be, roughly fucking 45 minutes by that time. Seeing that is really, one of my proudest moments. One bit of advice I'll give to any, YouTuber, and I have no business giving this kind of advice, but you're not going to get anywhere without investing in your craft. You can have the shittiest mic. My mic's not anything to write home about. It's a Blue Snowball. You can have the shittiest webcam. And mine's like a $40 webcam from Best Buy. But if you don't have good internet, and I mean good internet, and you don't have the presence to think about how much stuff is on your network for uploading, and you're not consistently uploading, be it one series or 30 series, you're not going to get anywhere. Because I see a lot of YouTubers, and this isn't me throwing shade at anybody, I see a lot of YouTubers that will upload straight, uncut gameplay. Straight, uncut videos. Not putting any time into what they're doing. And what I do here isn't, grand. But it has the consistency. It has the fact that I do one of these videos a week. Sometimes 2 a week. Depending on how much news or how much of writing, the channel's dick, essentially, as, Thurman would put it. It's really weird, seeing how the smaller YouTubers think just as long as I upload shit daily, no matter how, cringy it is, I'll get a lot of attention. But what I've seen, and this is, again, not me throwing shade at anybody, what I've seen in the past, especially from, the small to mid-range, is like them upload like 20 videos and then nothing. And then upload 20 videos and then nothing. That's not consistency, really. And those videos could be 30 seconds, it's essentially them, hitting this and then sharing it directly to YouTube. That's not that it's bad. If you get a good kill, you can, upload that and then private it, put in a compilation. I understand where you're going with that. Because I do it all the time with fucking, like, Rainbow Six clips for the fucking compilations. But usually it's me, using some third-party software on my phone, because I play Siege on the Xbox, and it's like, you can't, as much as I love Xbox, they don't have a fucking direct share. So I have to, like, either put it up in OneDrive and then download it and then throw it in Premiere, or I have to screen record it on my phone and then fucking, manually, if there's any background audio, because my phone's mic, for some reason, can pick up a fucking mouse fart. So if I breathe, I have to manually, like, okay, I need to downplay that sound in Adobe, and I need to put that sound up. But I see a lot of that, like, and them not private it. And I'm thinking to myself, what you're trying to do is increase your view time. I get it, especially with the new fucking algorithm. But with 100 subs, you're not going to get monetization because you have to hit 1,000. But they think, oh, I no-scope that dude. I'm like, yeah, 360 no-scope. Yeah. A 30-second clip of that isn't going to amount to anything for your view time, really. That's what I hate about this new algorithm, too, by the way. I'll touch on that in a minute. I touched about it in mine and Red's stream for Ape Escape as well. You're not going... You can get 100 views on that, and it's not going to amount to above a few minutes. What you need is the more long-form stuff. And I get that certain things have happened that have changed your plans, and potentially, like, oh, now that they changed that, I'm not going to get monetized. I'm just going to, use this as, a compilation channel and potentially launch another one or whatever, that's fine. But it also makes one big mistake that you don't actually see, and this is where I'll transition here. What you actually do by, mass spamming those 30-second clips is, if somebody's clicked the bell, they're getting every notification of every clip you upload. Now, this is where I fucked up, and this is where I want, smaller channels to learn, is where I fucked up by mass spamming, like the Shadow of Mordor walkthrough. Those, it would be one thing if they were short clips, but those were like hour-long, like me fucking testing out the Elgato before I knew that. You didn't have to fucking do that. The more viewers you get, the more you're supposed to learn, and I'm assuming that channels like this will know that if they click the bell, they're getting every fucking upload as a notification on their phone, and they're like, that's video 15. Fuck you. Unsubscribe. Then you see your number trickle down. No content creator wants to see that number trickle down. So, I hope that has helped. And before I end this video, and like I said, it'll probably be a 45-minute video, what I want to end this video on is the algorithm. When YouTube changed their stuff post Logan Paul incident, with the suicide forest, that I touched on it in a video, and I'm going to touch on it again here. What that really does, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, what that really, really does is good and bad. Now, what I mean by it's good and bad is it's good for, like the big YouTubers that abuse the policy, and like, especially the channels that do nothing but take other people's clips and, I'm going to download this with, this fucking thing, and, fuck those guys, I don't care about them, and they don't deserve the money, but I'm going to sit here and make money off of their money. Fuck you guys, by the way. Fuck any channel that re-uploads clips like that. If you're not claiming fair use in anything you upload, fuck you. If you're stealing people's clips and just compiling them into a fucking video that you're sitting and getting 100,000 plus views on, you are the scum of the fucking earth. Okay. Those types of channels are the ones that are really going to get hurt by that. Because what really hits those channels is the view time. If you timestamp like each individual content creator, and people don't give two pints of piss about some of those people, they're going to click to that timestamp. They're going to click to that timestamp. They're going to click to that timestamp. Okay? And what that does is it cuts down on their view time. And now that they need X amount of view time before they get verified and, are able to monetize, those channels are going to suffer. But who's also going to suffer are those like artists that do speed paints, like our artist Utena. Like, those channels there are going to get the most fucked over by this new formula, because most of those speed paints are like 30 seconds to fucking 30 minutes. Now, after having 4,000, I forget how much it was, I think it's 4,000 minutes in the new formula. Those 30-second clips of like memes and animatics and those speed paints that aren't that long, they're not going to be able to monetize them, really. They're not going to be able to get monetization on their channel. Regardless if they hit the subscriber count, they're not going to get money if they don't hit that threshold of time. So what YouTube really needs to do, and this is coming from small content creators, so call it biased if you will, what they really need to do is they need to have a middle ground. Like, okay, do these channels fit under the same as these channels that have, this channel here has like 400 subscribers? Do they really need the same threshold as those that have like 40,000, 50,000, 100,000? Really, I think there needs to be more of a human element. That the human element, what used to happen when a video got like a copyright claim is it immediately Whoever claimed it got that month's money. Then the content creator would have to, appeal, and then that process would take a month. And regardless of who got, the money, that first month, whoever claimed it got the money. Now, if, the user won, any additional revenue after that would be, their money, right? Great, right? Except for that month, they got fucked over by that. There were people that would abuse that system, too. Like, oh, I don't care, I'm still getting, a month's worth of revenue, and this video's got, like, 100 million views, so, fuck you, I'm going to get this money, yeah. Oh, shit, they won, fuck it, I still got a month's worth of money, go on to the next one, right? Pretty shady shit. Now what happens is, that money, if you don't dispute it, within that 30 days, that goes to the, whoever filed the claim. But if you file that claim, all that money sits here in this middle zone, right? That middle zone, whoever wins this little tug of war of copyright gets that money. So it could go here, it could go here. It could go to you, or it could go to them. That was one great, implementation of, change that YouTube did. But still, there needs to really be a little bit more. That more being, artists, fucking animators, shit like that, they need to be kind of exempt from the watch time, because what they're creating, and this goes for any art channel, any, animation channel, anything like that, what they're creating, they're putting more time into it than most of our shit that we do here. Like, that one thing that they sped up to, like, 37 times speed, that could potentially be fucking 17, 18 hours of them drawing. That could potentially be 30 hours of them animating keyframe by keyframe by keyframe. If you've ever tried to edit in an editing software by keyframe, you know what that is. You know how much work that is. You know how fucking tedious that is to get the smallest minute fucking motion. Right? Now try that across an entire person's body, or an entire animal's body, or whatever they fucking animate. Try that. The regular editor would want to end themselves. But an animator, they find enjoyment out of that. They do that for you to watch, for them to make money, but they can't make money under this new policy. So YouTube really needs to reevaluate that for certain content creators. While what they're doing is, somewhat good, it's buckling down on the fake channels and the Smurf channels that don't give a fuck. It's also hurting the small-time content creators, the artists, the musicians, that 3-second track that new artist dropped, or that 3-minute, rather, that 3-minute track that they just dropped, they can't make money off of that if they're not getting, like, 100,000 fucking views on it. Part of YouTube's, what made YouTube great was the ability to be discovered back in the day. Now you have people jumping platforms to, like, Twitch for gameplay because, certain types of gameplay get auto-flagged. I don't care that the Life is Strange playthroughs got auto-flagged. I really don't care about monetizing, somebody else's work in the music. But, shit like that, bothers, bigger content creators that need to make money, They're hopping to Twitch, and, you have other political channels hopping to alternative platforms, and I'll just leave it at that. Part of this entire platform's, what made this platform so great and still really good, is the ability to express yourself. You think me sitting in front of a camera would be discovered by anybody? Anywhere else, really? Do you think 4 dudes, called in through a fucking Discord call for a podcast, or back in the day, Messenger, since this is a 1-year anniversary, you think that anybody would give a fuck about that anywhere else? But yet, we have 83 people, sitting, loving or liking or enjoying that content, or versus battles. You think that would fly anywhere else? Fuck no. You think, and I'll get real old YouTube here, think back to the original days of Rooster Teeth. You think those people would really have the platform they do today if they hadn't actually, branched out a little bit from, like, their original website to a platform like this, to where they could reach a broader audience than, family and friends and, the few people that heard through the grapevine? put it through this, platform that I'm utilizing here, and pretty much anything can happen. You think, people like Young Turks, for example, political talk, I know, something I don't do. You think they would reach the audience they do without utilizing, YouTube? You think people like Smosh would exist without YouTube? Or, Team 4-Star, do you think they would exist without YouTube? Think about it. And as more and more people start to leave the platform and seek alternatives, you'd think the corporation Google would stop and rethink their formula. The algorithm is so goddamn broken that one video from our playlist could be discovered, by 100 people one week and then 15 the next, utilizing the same exact tags. So that's why I'm like, in this, as much as I love, reminiscing about a year here, I wanted to, bring that up. So let me know what your favorite Planet Unity moments are in the comments if you view this. If you're discovering this video thanks to, Red's Hisoka video, and subscribe newly, welcome to the channel. If you're discovering this by the SEO, welcome. You're free to subscribe. I'm not going to force you to subscribe. I'm not, one of those YouTubers. And none of us here are in this channel. But if you like what you see and you like, what you see on the channel itself after viewing this video, feel free to. Like I said, there's new shit coming out. There's always going to be, an ever-changing array of videos here. The long-form discussions will be, different themes every time. The versus battles are every 2 weeks, on the off week of the podcast, that. And then, monthly for our Reds, videos. Also, gaming videos will probably be monthly, considering how much scripting and how much footage capture there is. And everything else, will always follow some sort of a schedule. The only reason there was no, One Piece discussion this week is it's on hiatus, as is Hunter x Hunter back on hiatus. Rip to Reds, poor little heart. He had nothing to read this week besides The Promised Neverland, which will come out as soon as that chapter hits. Until next time, Planet Unity, and thank you for a year, and here's to many, many more. Peace.